Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to yet another episode of Grow Through Grief, another video on my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by today, and for those of your continued support on any facets of how I share my feelings nowadays. As many of you know, in the new year, I have effectively taken an entire step back from social media. So that means there are 0 social media apps other than Reddit on my smartphone and tablet. And that means no Snapchat, no Instagram, no Facebook, no Twitter, and all those subsidiaries of social networking that I guess you could deem as such. People ask me why, and it's simply to disconnect. For the first, ever since 2005, I've been active on Facebook when it first dropped, when it was college kids only. Some of you might remember that. You had to have a .edu email address to initially get going on Facebook. And then, progressively as smartphones became an integral part of our lives, I don't really remember the world without an iPhone, or a smartphone for that matter. Or at least how life was. I don't remember it as vividly because we've had them for so long now, damn near a decade with just reliance upon them. So I took a step back. I wanted to see how much of social networking and exposure to people's lives and instant updates and instant gratification and micro news, fake news, all the different shit, all the different communication facets that came at me, what effect did they have on my anxiety, my overall mental health, my image of society, my irritability, my window of tolerance, all the things. I just want to see what it did. So it's been, it's February 1st today, and this is a really, really hard week for me. But being off social media has been fantastic. I did have to log into Facebook today because it is like the only place that this widow group I'm going to Sedona, Arizona with in the coming weeks to congregate, introduce themselves, get to know each other, make some plans. So I have had to thus get back on Facebook for that, but I have only went to groups, that group, and only that, and then I close it. So proud of myself there, you guys. That is not an easy thing to do when you are effectively addicted to social media. So let's rewind time a little bit. Sunday night was January 28th, 2018 already. Wow, guys. And the 29th is a big day for me because, as some of you know, that was my 1-year sobriety moment. There was a moment back in 2017 after day drinking all day and having my last beer, which I'm pretty positive was 3 Floyd's Mastodon, maybe. It was a barrel-aged Imperial Stout, of course, with coffee with dark matter, aged, bourbon barrel. And I think Chase Smiley gave me that one, so shout out to you, man. But yeah, I was using alcohol pretty irresponsible that day. I remember having a fight with Janna, and I didn't do that often. And there was this dark, deceptive me in a mirror and just a piece of shit human being with a little boy hurting inside so very much. That's what I've discovered, at least in the last year. And at 8:16 p.m. or 8:15 p.m. I texted a support member, for that matter, and said I need help. And that was my last bout with alcohol. And so we've eclipsed officially 1 year of continuous sobriety and recovery, and what a year it's been. I haven't slept well since last Thursday, so a week now, due to anxiety, due to like this white knuckling feeling of just this shouldn't be how it is, but it is. I had a absolute tremendous gathering for my birthday, they call them, last night with a great deal of my support network, friends, family, people in my recovery groups, and it was delightful. And I could not believe, from being in a 12-step program or a recovery program, we'll call it, and sharing my experience while I was getting said achievement chip, and I kind of think of it as like achievement unlocked for Xbox or something. But I couldn't help but look around that room, and I didn't see my dad there. I did see my mother, And I didn't see Janna there, at least physically, but I definitely felt her. But I can't begin to tell you how much pain hit me as I was driving from the meeting to the restaurant, and all the pain that my kids weren't there and all this stuff. And as many of you know, I got sober a week before my wife passed away. So February 5th is very quickly coming up. It's Monday and today's Thursday. And you know, I've been doing decent at work, getting to work, maintaining work, and not missing a lot of work, at least on a whim. You know, I have some planned days off next week for recognizing Janna's departure date. We'll call it death anniversary. I hate those words. I have some fun plans, and when I say fun, they're in solace. They're in remembrance. You know, I'm gonna take it to where it all started, and I'm gonna really hone in, do some meditation, be in nature with Janna, and just see how the day goes. But you know, with all this stuff, people ask me, Eric, are you okay? What do you need right now? And the fact of the matter is I don't know. I still don't know. A year later, it's almost like it's about to happen all over again in my mind. And a lot of you may or may not know, I do a tremendous amount of work on myself. So not only working towards my recovery, you know, working with a sponsor, you know, working with friends who have reached out, you know, and that's just on the alcoholism and addiction side of things. But the work on myself goes further with self-help books and this channel, therapy weekly, Alpha Stim, medications, managing psychiatry. Like, I spend more on mental health than I do anything in my life. And obviously it's a huge proponent of what gets me out of bed every day. So people ask me how I'm doing. How are you doing right now? Well, like I said, I don't know, but I'm fucking terrible, if I'm being honest with you. Yes, you're seeing a smile. Yes, you're seeing me able to, like, actually put my thoughts into verbalization and share it with people. That doesn't mean I'm absolutely, you know, once this camera goes off, that doesn't mean I'm going on the other side of the wall and laying and watching Criminal Minds for the rest of the night. It's probably gonna happen. So, no, I'm not doing good. The face you see on camera or behind the keyboard, and many of you saw for many months just social media updates or videos where there was a positive, like that little peephole of light. It's there. I mean, I'm doing tremendous. Like, if you really look at February, January of last year, who Eric Wood is, to now, after all I've been through and them going through, I wouldn't dream that I would be sitting here in the mental condition I am. Like I said, terrible, but functioning. So is it any different than last January? Well, I had some hope with my beautiful wife, the love of my life, my soulmate, to have a child, you know, moving into our second year of marriage. You know, I was terrible. I was hurting so much on the inside from things that had happened to me as a child that I had snowballed, and I had found this all out over the past year. It's wild, wild, wild stuff. So, you know, I guess the whole point that I'm making this video is, you know, working with a new sponsor and continuing to work my program for healing and growing through my own grief and my own pain and my own suffering, is that there is so much self-seeking stuff out there and so many deterrents from what I call God, or good orderly direction, or the God of my understanding, or the higher power in my life. And I was told that I was kept alive on this planet because God wanted me to come back to Him. That's some deep stuff. And I was also told I was kept behind because my work isn't done. And my story now is to help others, and to show that you can recover and you can grow through this grief and this pain and this despair and this hopelessness, and that you can shed a light to others. So there is a YouTuber, his name is BigNoKnow. I don't know if I ever linked him in a previous video, but he is instrumental. He is a vision of what I want this channel to be going forward, and I don't know how to get there. I'm just gonna keep making content and hope it hits, you know, Iron strikes with fire, is that how it goes? Yeah. And I hope this can take off to just be that harboring light. So, you know, I celebrated this 1 year sobriety birthday. Little thing that I do, you know, when things get tough, I bring this with me, and I bring a little white gemstone, which is in my bedside drawer. Or it's a clear gemstone, and it was given to me by the pastor slash grief counselor who performed Janna's ceremony at her funeral. And when things get tough, and when things aren't tough, I carry these around in my pocket. And it's just a sense of physical strength. It's a grounding technique. And it works. It works for me. It may not work for all of you. But yeah, it's been a wild ride. I couldn't thank any more people enough. Other than I haven't really thanked this community enough. So many of you who have stuck around. I looked back at what my channel was when I left the beer review scene, and like the hype train shit that I used to do with all the different craft beers and breweries, mainly a TG dick rider, which is just so funny on this side of the coin now, literally this side of the coin. But the numbers have only fluctuated plus or minus about 10 to 12 people. Now, views have taken a tremendous hit. Not that they were ever good. And you know, I don't do this for views. This isn't a full-time job. I make zero money. This is something I do for an outlet to express my thoughts and opinions and or share my experience of hope, love, and strength. And I'm going to continue to do that. And so when you look at Noah's channel, his honesty and his willingness is empowering to me. You know, he's had a few of his own, you know, hurdles and stumbles in his own life, just like all of you have. And that's where, from this point on, we are building a community here on this channel. This is a safe haven in the comment section for you to just unload of what is ailing you and or what has devastated you in your life, what you're struggling with right now, whether it's anxiety, depression, dissociative disorder, depolarization, bipolar, whatever it is, it's here, it's safe. I'm not gonna judge anybody. I'm only here to help the best of my abilities or point people in a direction in which, you know, maybe clinical therapy is right. Maybe therapy in general, say a psychologist, is the step for you. Maybe grief groups are the step for you. Maybe there's so many options out there to heal, and so many people don't know how to heal or how to get better or where to go, and the hopelessness takes over your life, and you're effectively up shit creek, or down for that matter. And it breaks my heart. And my YouTube, watch history is stupid. It's all stupid stuff. It's all like, I watch people play video games, or I still watch beer reviews from some of my favorite people like Joe. Not that I care at all about the beer, I just care to see how he's doing. It's wild, and I mean, I still talk to these people on a daily basis for the most part. And so, I'm so very grateful for all 700 of you who have stuck around, who've continued to comment, who've continued to watch. And if you're new here, thank you for stopping by. This is a place where you can feel safe. And please, if you like what you see, please comment, like, and subscribe. Subscribing is seriously one of the best ways, and I'm not doing it for revenue, is for me to feel driven to keep doing this. For some reason, it's that gratification of an Apple Watch or something, or a Fitbit, where it's like, oh, hurrah, you get a medal for doing exercise. Well, when I see there's a response back to what I'm doing, I'm more likely to want to keep doing it more frequently. It's like a Pavlovian thing, the rats and whatnot in the box. But, I'm grateful today. Today was a really, really hard day. I had no focus. Things hit really, really hard at work, and I hadn't been sleeping well. I'm getting over a cold, and so I said, you know what, I gotta go. And luckily, I still have a tremendous support system at work where I can just up on a whim go, and or take time that I need it as I need it. And effectively, there's no judgment. I'm doing the best I can when I'm there to be focused. Today, there was no bringing that focus back. I went for a walk, got water, did coffee, tried to eat a snack, do vitamins, nothing was working. Well, I found out I forgot my medication, which has happened 3 times in a year. And it had a tremendous impact. And it's so frustrating as somebody who's trying to just reacclimate to life without medication, that there's such a reliance upon it, that it does have such a profound effect. Thankful I got the right one at least. So yeah, so this is hopefully an empowering, start to 2018. I think I may have posted one other video this year. Memory is still not my strong suit. But really, this is really the kind of the forefront. I had to Sedona on a widower's retreat. I hope to take you guys along in some fashion and or make a recap video of my trip and my experience. So with that, guys, I again am so damn grateful, and I hope all of you have gotten something out of clicking on these videos again. Whether it's, I know a lot of people tell me I'm strong, but I couldn't really do this without a support group, and maybe I could, but there's something bigger here. There's something spiritual here. There's something that has pulled me up from the darkest, deep hole of despair and grief and allowed me to turn on a camera today. And then there's something that just keeps pushing me forward. And I don't know if it's the strength of the Holy Spirit and Janna and all my children in heaven, but I shouldn't be doing this good, I keep telling myself. There's so much self-guilt and shame, but what do you do, guys? So with that, again, I'm so grateful, and please keep coming back, and keep sharing your stories. I want to know more about all of you. I don't want, it's just wild. So thanks for sticking around to the end of this video. Again, this goes out to you guys. Yeah, grateful. Peace.